Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable. Kotak Mutual Fund presents Invest Mentor in association with Network 18.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Invest Mentor, an educational initiative by Kotak Mahindra Mutual Fund along with Network 18. I'm Surabhi Upadhyay. Now, over the past couple of weeks, we in this Invest Mentor series have been bringing you lots of important conversations when it comes to mutual funds, investing, whether it's the equity markets or the fixed income market. Today, we are going to be discussing something even more interesting and perhaps a little controversial as well, if you want to call it that. Direct equity investing, direct stocks versus mutual funds. Well, yes, I'm sure that this topic has got your attention already. So without further ado, let me quickly introduce our panelists on the show today. I have with me Nilesh Shah, the MD of Kotak AMC, as well as Manish Mehta, the National Head of Sales, Digital Business and Marketing at Kotak AMC. Gentlemen, thank you very much for taking out the time and joining us on this conversation. Nilesh, you heard us question you about this for the last 12 months, right? This rising cult of retail investors willing to buy stocks directly. What do you think of it? And, where do you think this is coming from? Where is it going, more importantly?
So it's a very positive trend. People make investment in equity is always good. Now, last 12 months, except last 1 month has been a one-way market. From the bottom of March all the way till Feb 21, markets were moving unidirectionally up. Now that experience should not mislead you. Markets are markets. They will go up as well as down. If you are making direct investment in stock, please do proper research. Please invest rather than trade. This direct investment by retail investors is a positive trend in India, where generally equity as an asset class is underrepresented in an individual's portfolio.
Okay, well, let's bring Manish into the conversation as well. Manish, you tell us your thoughts on this trend of people coming directly into the market. Is it just a pandemic phenomena or is there more to it?
As Nilesh sir mentioned, that this definitely is a good trend that at least we're seeing more financialization, retailization of investments happening in equity. But I think I'll just like to, hear in a word of caution here, because when the going is good, everybody wants to ride that wave. And when the volatility sort of comes into the market, that's the real test of an investor in terms of that, whether like he's willing to fathom that kind of volatility that the market is reflecting. So I think it's very important that while we have been seeing a surge of investments coming in the form of direct equity investments, also through the mutual funds, but at the same time, I think it's important also to know the downside of it and the ability to fathom and take appropriate actions when there is volatility as far as the market is concerned.
Nilesh, just some further thoughts on this. Is it instant gratification? Is it that, perhaps every investor at the end of the day wants to feel like a hero or a maverick, saying, I bought this stock at 100 and now it's 150. Is it more a psychological thing? In which case, can it be a bit of a dangerous trend?
Today, investors, when they invest directly in stock, they can see the result immediately. On the other hand, in mutual fund, it's more like birbal ki khichdi. There's no instant gratification. You build wealth over a period of time. And this is best reflected in one of the study which we did recently. We compared in Nifty 500 on a 5-year rolling basis, what percentage of stocks delivered negative return versus if you had invested in mutual fund over, let's say, 5-year period, what would have been the negative return. We found that in stocks, you have higher upside as well as higher downside. In funds, you have lower downside as well as lower upside. So effectively, investor going directly into stocks have better potential of making return by taking higher risk. Whereas in mutual fund, he's getting a diversified portfolio which protects his downside, but at the same time keeps his upside.
Okay, so then would it be fair to say that for a medium risk investor, perhaps mutual funds would be the easiest, the simplest way, and the least risky way to approach the market, Nilesh?
Apart from risk profile, I will also say that if you have time, ability, and knowledge of direct investment, then you should pursue that. If you don't have time, you don't have energy, you don't have knowledge, then you should come via mutual fund.
Couple of months, we've seen a trend of a lot of redemptions from mutual funds. And at the same time, generally, if you look at the account openings at any of the brokerages, there's been a gradual increase. Is there a link between these two, or are these two independent trends playing out?
My feeling is that as more number of investors come directly into stock market via broking accounts, eventually they will also become mutual fund investor. Either they will realize that it's better to invest in mutual fund rather than direct investment in stocks, or they will realize that it is more convenient to invest via mutual fund than to spend your time and energy on direct investment. So as Manish mentioned, this financialization and retailization of equity market is positive for mutual funds from a longer term point of view.
Manish, same question to you. What have you made of the trend of all these, rising number of accounts, and at the same time, the fact that there have been redemptions? Now, how does one interpret redemption? It could also be that investors are fairly cautious and perhaps, becoming very sensible. They want to take some profit off. How would you read these two trends, Manish?
The trend that we've seen over the last 1 year, and if you look at the overall industry, we've still continued to see a growth from we had hit a low of about 24 lakh crore of total industry AUM, and we've come to March, which is at roughly more than 30 lakh crore. And a large part of that shift, obviously, well, on the equity side, we did see net sales turning negative, redemptions probably from retail and HNI investors. But a lot of that money has also moved into fixed income. So one, I would like to attribute that large part of that in redemptions which have happened have remained within the industry. We've just probably seen a shift as far as the asset class is concerned. The second trend is that even when we look at the data of the broking companies, and while yes, there have been very encouraging as far as broking accounts or demat accounts which have opened. But what's also very interesting to see is that these same entities have also seen encouraging SIP sales as far as new SIPs are concerned. And that's based on the data that we've just sort of analyzed when we look at these kind of companies. So I think somewhere they probably are using a broking account or a demat account as an entry hook for the customers who come in. Once they start, trading and have been getting a good experience, they're also then ensuring that they're sort of working towards taking them to the next baby step of mutual funds, but through the SIP route, so that the volatility can be ironed out and the experience of the investor over a long period of time is pleasant and much more encouraging. And then probably you may see a trend where the next step could be lump sum investments or higher investments, which could happen subsequently down the line. So I think, yes, I would somewhere like to see these linkages that these investors, once they've come into equity, demat, broking, they're then taking the next step of at least SIPs.
Talk about a behavioral or a psychological aspect. Again, direct buying and selling of stocks is a very active, action-oriented thing, right? Because you're buying and you're selling it. It seems you're doing something. Whereas, as you said, that a systematic investment plan for years together is like that birbal ki khichdi. And now, having said that, the mutual fund industry has also come up with ETFs, and they're growing in a big way. So do you think that some of these funds, which can be traded on the indices, they will perhaps start getting more traction because DMATs and mobile phones, that seems to be the new normal?
So on the ETF side, the investment is primarily driven by EPFO, insurance companies, and other pension funds. There is very limited retail participation. And it is quite different from Western world, where ETFs have a lot of retail participation as well. And one reason is that in India, futures market is fairly active. The Nifty futures or Nifty banking index, it's far more liquid than Nifty ETF or banking ETF. and hence many retail investors participate in futures market rather than ETF market. So over a period of time, compared to current level, ETF will have higher participation from institutional investors, but our deep derivatives market will ensure that retail participation will be more geared towards derivatives market than towards ETF market.
So, how do you see this evolving, Nilesh? I mean, will there be a growing preference for some of the passive opportunities that are available? Because at least that's the way the world has gone. Or will the experience in India be different? Because perhaps a lot of first-time investors require more hand-holding and would be more comfortable with an active manager.
So, active manager has to justify his or her existence by generating alpha. Previous 10, 15, 20 years, we have generated alpha a lot. In last 5 years, alpha generation has come down compared to last 10 years. Going forward, I believe active and passive both will coexist. Those active fund managers which are able to generate alpha will continue to get money. Some of the newer products will come into play where alpha generation will happen by taking higher risk, like concentrated portfolio or leverage portfolio or long short portfolio. And at the same time, a lot of passive indices will come, which will allow an investor pre-specified investment. So there will be coexistence of active as well as passive.
Well, gentlemen, we'll take a very quick break on that note. But on the other side, we talk about the important things to keep in mind, no matter which route you're taking. If you're doing direct stocks or you're doing mutual funds, then there are certain hygiene elements that you need to keep in mind and some basic ground rules, some basic homework that you also need to do. And we'll discuss exactly that after the break.
Kotak Mutual Fund presents Invest Mentor in association with Network 18. Kotak Mutual Fund presents Invest Mentor in association with Network 18.
Welcome back. You're with us on Invest Mentor, and this week on the show we are discussing the variance between the direct equity approach versus going via mutual funds. Now, Nilesh, to come back to the point, whatever route you're taking, we were discussing information and how now it's a lot easier to access. But is that good enough? You can go to the website and you can get the P&L statement, you can see the exchange filings, but that doesn't ensure success in the stock markets, does it?
Knowledge was the criteria, then librarians would have been the richest person in the world. The success in investment is not just about reading information, it's more about analyzing that information and taking a call on that. Today, we believe many retail investors are driven by tips and what is being circulated in social media rather than genuine research. Even after doing genuine research, you could go wrong. So you need to have right technique as well as temperament in order to make money in stock market.
Manish, your thoughts on this? Because, now apps come a dime a dozen. And, as Nilesh mentioned, it's very easy to download stuff and get information, open up charts. But what are the hygiene rules that you have to put in place? Because, I agree with Nilesh that information on its own cannot ensure that we get wealthy and rich.
Yeah, so I agree with what Nilesh also had to mention. And I think having access to WhatsApp forwards or those SMSs that come every morning, that tip of the day, sure shot, like a multi-bagger, is not what is the only thing required to make take a call of looking at direct equities as investments. One obviously. I think patience is extremely important because over the years this market has taught us one thing, that it tests us. And it tests our anxiety, tests our patience. And I think that's very, very important, especially in the area of investments when one is looking at. And, and I have always, this is a very funny thing, but, I'm sure when all of us go to any kind of social functions, and because we represent mutual fund industries or, these kind of industry, many a times our relatives will always come up and ask us for that one tip that, what should I buy in the market? And my answer to everyone is that, I may give you 3 names today, But what if we don't meet for the next 12 months? Do you even call up to check that, okay, do you still hold that particular stock that you have mentioned to us, or have you already got out of it? And I said, what happens most of the time is you end up, holding the bad lemons in your portfolios. And then, you always, we come across a lot of investors, especially when we do IAP programs, that, oh, mutual funds is only for, equity markets is only for the gamblers. It is not for us to make money. And it is this segment of people who basically have taken the plunge with, half cooked information or limited information, and they then, have a bad experience, and they sort of then just get out of the investments mode completely. So I think it's important that if you want to even look at investments into direct stocks on your own, you need just not to depend upon the WhatsApp forwards or the tips of the day. I think there is a far large degree of research that probably one may need to do into it. And most importantly, as Nilesh mentioned, then you need to have the time, you need to have the patience and the wherewithal to do.
Okay, I take your point completely. But now here's the thing. Even if one decides that, okay, I don't have the time or the patience or the understanding to look at direct equity research, and I want to go in via the mutual fund route, that's only half the job done, Nilesh, because there are so many mutual fund schemes out there, so many different companies out there. So now what should an investor do next? What all should you know about your choice of fund? I mean, do you have to study the track record of the manager? Should you be looking at the underlying portfolio? And how frequently do you have to analyze the fund's performance? Because we're living in a very dynamically changing world. So perhaps, I mean, if an approach of just being invested for 2 to 3 years at a stretch, perhaps if that worked, half a decade ago, does it still work now?
So making money is not easy. Otherwise, all of us would have become billionaire. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes discipline. My recommendation to retail investor is that please go and get a very good advisor for yourself who will help you decide your financial planning, who will help you decide your financial objective, and then he will handhold you like a sarthi to navigate the volatility of the markets. If you have good advisor or distributor with you, then probably you can spend couple of hours every quarter on your portfolio. Don't expect all the successes. With best research, you could still go wrong. But if you have the discipline of regular investment, long-term investment, and asset allocation, I'm sure you will be able to generate real return on your portfolio.
Nilesh, that is one of the other big contentious issues, like return. There have been questions on mutual fund returns over the past couple of years, where the returns have gradually come off, whether the alpha, so to speak, in the Indian market is reducing. So again, what should the yardsticks be over here? And I'm talking about a medium risk appetite investor invested in a medium risk fund. So what are the new yardsticks, and how much time do you give to a fund? When do you realize that, okay, this is a strategy that's not working, perhaps I need to switch out? So is there any rule of thumb that one can remember?
So one, you should be targeting real return. If inflation comes down, then your nominal returns also will come down. If inflation goes up, nominal return also goes up. So in an inflation of 30%, if you make 25% return, it's a negative 5% real return. And in an inflation of 2%, if you make 5% return, that's positive 3% return. While 5 versus 25 will look completely different. So one, focus on real return. Number two, you have to diversify yourself. You can't be always in the winning portfolio. You diversify your risk, which will help you optimize your return. It's never about maximization of return. It's about optimization of return per unit of risk taken. Now, when you make investment across mutual fund schemes, some will work, some may not work as much up to your expectation. You have to cut your losses when you realize that the portfolio which the scheme has invested is not in line with your philosophy. It's not in line with your parameters of quality or governance. If a fund is underperformed but the underlying portfolio is of quality, then you should give time, because eventually it will start delivering return.
Manish, I'll take some final thoughts with you now. What is the advice that you'd like to give viewers today, especially the newcomers who are right now thinking whether to do direct stocks or mutual funds or maybe a mix of both?
My advice to the new breed of investors who are coming into the market, and the last 1 year, definitely we've seen a lot of new millennials who have been experimenting with investments either in direct stocks or coming to the mutual fund route. I think it's very important that you plan your savings and your finances well. Obviously, these new millennials would have very immediate short-term requirements or thoughts from an investment perspective, because there are certain goals that they want to achieve in maybe a year's time or 3 years time. Mutual funds definitely gives you options across asset classes for planning your investments and breaking them into buckets. So I think it's important that you plan your investments into the short term bucket, the medium term bucket, and the long term bucket. And more importantly, we've always been mentioning, the earlier you start investing, the better it is for you from a long-term perspective. So I think definitely we've been seeing a trend of understanding, realization, knowledge, and a lot of these millennials are looking at investments very, very actively. That's come out through some of the studies that have got done even at our end, where investments plays a very important role in their overall portfolio. So I think it's good that there is realization that yes, one needs to start planning and investments much at an early stage, and mutual funds definitely give you options of breaking up your investments into your short-term goals, medium-term goals, and long-term goals, and across asset classes. So one should look at taking advantage to that.
Okay, I get the point. Short-term trading bravado or the long term. I think the choice is out there. I know what my answer is going to be. You need to find yours for yourself. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on this very interesting conversation and putting forward some very valid points that we all need to think about when it comes to investing in the stock market. Thanks for joining in, Manish as well as Nilesh.
Kotak Mutual Fund presents Invest Mentor in association with Network 18.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.